Hello everyone. Today we will be learning what English collocations are and why you should learn them. A collocation is actually a combination of two or more words that often go together. These are words that appear together relatively often in a particular language. These might come across as idioms or phrasal verbs, but these aren't necessarily phrasal verbs or idioms. In a way, you can say that idioms and phrasal verbs are collocations because these are group of words that often go together and mean something significant. For example, in case of phrasal verbs, you can say that it's a group of words that go together and a certain group of words mean something very specific. If you change or simply replace the words in a phrasal verb, they will mean something entirely different. So in a way, you can say that phrasal verbs and idioms are collocations, but not all collocations are idioms or phrasal verbs. You can say that collocations are simply words that just go well together. If you replace words, then they will sound wrong and unnatural. Right now we will take a few examples so you know just how collocations work. For example, you often say words like fast food or fast train, but at the same time you use words like a quick shower or a quick meal. Now technically, fast and quick, they both mean the same thing, but you can't say a quick train or a quick food. You have to say fast food or fast train. You can't say something like a fast shower or a fast meal. You have to say a quick shower or a quick meal. Now, even though fast and quick both mean the same thing, you can't really switch their places in these expressions. So these are some standard expressions that you often use and you can't really make changes to them. Now these are called collocations. They can be any group of words or basically a phrase that often go well together, and if you change anything in them, they will sound wrong and unnatural. For example, you take risks, you do your homework, you make your bed, and you have a party. You can't say I made my homework or I did a mistake. You say I did my homework and made a mistake. These are words that, like I said, go together well, and if you change anything in them, even though they mean exactly the same thing, they will sound wrong and unnatural. Now let's talk a little bit about what is the problem with learning collocations. Collocations is hard to learn because these are not fixed or these are not absolute words. When it comes to forming collocations, there are no specific rules. These are not really bound by some rule that you can follow and form collocation. This is about how a language normally or rather typically puts words together. Now, like I said, the problem with learning collocations is that these are abstract words. These are words that go together well, but you can't really reason with them. There is no specific explanation as to why some words go well together and some don't. Some just sound wrong and unnatural. Even if they mean exactly the same thing, if you switch words with them, they will still sound wrong and unnatural. It can be really confusing and frustrating for learners, specifically for beginners, because if you ask a question like why do these two words go together well, and even if I switch the word with something else that means exactly the same, it doesn't work. There is no explanation to this. It's just how it is. It's just how it's been used for a long time, and basically you can say that these are ready-made pieces. These are pieces that already exist together, and it's more convenient if you learn these together and, like I said, use them together. Now let's talk a little bit about why is it so important to learn collocations, not just in English but any language that you want to learn, any language that you want to be proficient or fluent in. Let's say you are speaking something or about to write something, so you need to form sentences, right? And in order to form sentences, you need to put words together. So basically you think of a word and then try and fit another word according to this one, and this process goes on every time you want to speak and write something, basically every time you want to form a sentence. Now imagine doing this all the time, every time you want to speak or write. This is a hectic process. This process does not really help you achieve fluency because it takes a bit of time. It actually takes a lot of time if you are just beginning to learn English or any other language for that matter. This process takes a lot of time, and in this process you can never really achieve fluency. First of all, this process is really time consuming, and second, every time you do this process you will only tire yourself out because trying to gather words one by one, put them together to form a sentence every time you want to speak something or write something, like I said, the process itself sounds time consuming and tiring. So how do you achieve fluency? Basically, you learn the already exist words, the ready-made words. They already exist. Like I said, they always go together. So why learn words one by one instead, when you can learn them in groups and use them together? And they will be absolutely right, because you can't go wrong with collocations unless, of course, you remember them wrong. So instead of learning vocabulary like simply word by word, you can rather learn collocations. Basically, you will learn a group of words together that go together well. So whenever you feel the need to use a specific word, you know what are the other words that will go together with that one. Now this process will help you achieve fluency. In this way, your proficiency will increase, and whenever you speak or write, you will sound more natural. You will sound more like a native speaker, and that's what we intend to do. When we learn a language, we want to be fluent at it, and this is the process. This is how you should do it. And that's exactly why it's so important to learn collocations. Not just collocations, but idioms or phrasal verbs in general. These are all group of words that go together. So these are basically ready-made pieces that you need to learn, and you will be able to produce words more frequently, because you won't be just producing or coming up with words. You will be coming up with combinations. It's all about producing combinations. When it comes to English language, there are a group of words, or there are a set of words you can say, that are extremely common and almost always used in all speaking and written English. They are like make, take, do, go and have. I'm sure there are more words, but you can see that these words are very common and can be used in multiple different ways. So whatever you intend to say or write, you can come up with collocations that go with these words, and you won't be wrong because you know how they work. So I hope by now you understand that learning collocations is not just about learning a group of words together. It's about being able to produce combinations. When you learn something, you need to be able to produce it. So instead of learning vocabulary, word by word, you could rather learn group of words together and be able to produce combinations. So that's all about why you should learn collocation. Now that you know why it's so important to learn collocations in English and how you can easily learn them and how they will help you achieve fluency in English, now let's talk about the types of collocations. So you have an idea just what kind of different combinations you can have in English collocations. So every time you learn something, every time you see something or read something or learn someone say something, you will be able to point these words out and understand that these are the words that often go together. So let's take a look at what are the different combinations that we can have in English collocations. The first type is adverb with adjective. For example, completely satisfied, or absolutely right, or fully aware, or utterly stupid, or painfully slow, or excruciatingly painful, or widely believed or widely accepted. Now, as you can see from these examples, these are examples of adverb plus adjective combinations. These are collocations as well, by the way, and you can use these exactly like these, and also you can substitute words. So now you have an idea what adverb plus adjective combination is. In all these pairs of words, the first word is usually adverb and the second word is usually adjective. So this is one combination of collocations that you can have. The second type of collocation can be adjective along with noun, like in excruciating pain, or regular exercise, or let's say deep sleep, or you can also say high cost or strong coffee. Again, the first word is usually an adjective and the second word is a noun. This is another such combination of words that you can call a collocation. The third type of combination, or the third type of collocation you can say, is noun along with noun. For example, like in surge of anger, or a round of applause, or bouts of anxiety. Also, you can say a bar of soap, or business English. Now, all these words that we talk about, or rather the combinations of words that we talked about, you can see that these are words that often go together. I'm sure you have heard of round of applause, or a surge of anger, or a bar of soap. There is no other word in English language that you can replace it with, and that will sound so natural as this one. So I hope so far you understand what collocations are and how they work. Anyway, let's move on to the next type of combination, that is noun along with verb. Like you can say words like lions roar, or snakes hiss, cats purr or dogs bark or a plane takes off. Now, as you can see, again, these are words that go together. You can't switch these, or you can't say anything else instead of these, because these go together, they sound right. There is nothing wrong and unnatural about it unless you change something in these words. The next type of combination we have is a verb along with a noun. For example, break a leg, or make a speech, or do your homework, make your bed, or keep a secret. The next type of combination is verb along with an expression that has a preposition in it, like run out of time, or he's filled with awe, or filled with horror, or filled with pride, or he burst into tears. The last kind of combination we have is verb along with an adverb, like in wave frantically, or remember vaguely, or remember vividly, or you can say speak loudly, or criticize harshly, or clean thoroughly. Now these are all different kinds of, or rather different combinations of collocations that we usually have in English, but I would suggest that instead of using the types of collocations you can have in English, you rather try and learn the collocations themselves, because if you learn the collocations, you don't have to learn the type, because nobody is going to ask you what the types are or how they are used, the collocations. But if you know the collocations themselves, you can figure out what parts of speech they are, and you can know the type. You don't need to learn the types of collocations in English. So instead of learning the types of collocations, try learning the collocations themselves. In this way, you will not only be able to remember the collocations whenever you need them while speaking or writing, it is better for your fluency, it will be better for your English proficiency. You will be able to remember words, or rather collocations, correctly or fast, and in this way you will be able to sound more natural, like a native speaker. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked this video, because in this video we learned about what collocations are and why they are so important to learn in English. And even though it can be a bit frustrating, particularly for beginners, you should try and learn these, because instead of using words like vocabulary, remember word by word, you could rather learn collocations and remember words in groups, like in combinations. So you will not only be able to speak or write sentences faster, you will be able to sound more fluent and achieve fluency. So yeah, if you think that you liked this video, then give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.